Hello, hello, my ninja. I want to discuss with you some aspects of your work so that we know how far you've gone. Let me see. Yes, I think this is your work. This is your own work, and I would like to look at it from the start. You say chapter 1 to 3 corrected, but then there are things you have not corrected that we agreed upon that you should correct. I'll start with the the topic, your thesis topic. You see in my comment here, I've said we can adjust this topic and we call it principles, leadership styles and their effects on teachers' performance in your own the 3 subdivision. You did not change that. When I came here, I said this is centered in caps lock, and you see it is not centered. And then I come here and say introduce the chapter by writing something like this examines, or this chapter presents the background of the study, the problem statement, and blah blah and all that. I even gave you what to write as you're introducing the chapter. You did not do it. You just said this work is divided into 5 different chapters, with each chapter having its specificities. So that means that you have not done any corrections and you're rushing to give me the work back without you doing what you're supposed to do. Now, when we came to the background of the study, we discussed and agreed that you're going to write these procedures that I put here. I can see that you tried to do this, and I want to appreciate you for that. Okay, in the background of the study, at least you did that. It is not yet to the level I want it, but it's okay. We will move like that. But look at your citations. Tambo 2012. Now, Tambo 2012, the citation is not automatic, meaning that it's going to be very hard for you to trace it and put it in the reference list. I taught you and directed you on how to do that. However, if you cannot do it, we cannot use parentheses here. We use curly brackets. Curly brackets are like this. I think you are seeing. You use curly brackets, not parentheses. So that's the curly bracket that you use in your citations. When we come here to the aspects of the historical background, it's lacking because you have not cited any literature. There is no citation here in what you are calling your historical background. It's just a story you are writing, and like I told you that when you are writing your historical background, you are specifically giving us the history background of the problem. But I've not seen this. This means you don't know how to do this. You show over the years, the histories by the years, by the periods, the trend at which aspects have been happening, and how has literature addressed this. I'll give you one example. You might say that you are, for example, you are looking at leadership styles and academic performance, and how this one affects academic performance. And you want to show over the years how were the leadership styles and how did they evolve to the level at which they are. What did you, and what literature is there to show evidence of how this evolved. You must cite this in your work to make it valid. When it comes to the contextual background, we said I don't know where you put the changes, but when I read through, I see that you have done some corrections here, which is okay. We said you look at the context of the study, the scope. Of course, you say on the 3 subdivision, the content. Bring out the exact constructs you are looking at when you talk about leadership styles, and also show the study area. You've already done that, and you must put literature to justify. Show that all this work is not cited, therefore these are stories. At this level, you cannot write one paragraph. A contextual background brings in a clear explanation of your constructs, of your variables, and why you chose them with the justifications. You also want to show in the context that there are other scholars or previous studies which you cite in your work that have done similar studies in the same context that you are doing it, and you like to show the gaps. Every time we do, you show the gaps. As much as they did this in this context and aspect, this was lacking, this is not addressed, and this is what this study is all about. But you have not done that. This is a report. So the language is in past tense. I think you did that, because discussion was found on, I think you did that. So it's lacking. The whole of this one is lacking. Please go and see what other, go and check out on other literature. Check out on other theses and other pieces of work and how they are writing, and try to understand how to to pick it on from where you are. You seem to have an issue on how to write, so and your work is not yet there. You're not structuring the work the way you're supposed to structure it. We said here, okay, here you try to do the conceptual background, but now in the conceptual background, I would like you to bring out all the major concepts one by one and explain and discuss them in this section, showing what other scholars have done about it. I see some literature in your work, but for example, inspiration and motivation, you said it involves this and that and that. Then you come and talk about moral leadership, is this and this and that and that. So, but I would like to see a clear aspects of your constructs that you are using, those that you have taken. How have you conceptualized maybe principles leadership? What aspects are you looking at? Pick one by one and show how it is, what it is, how you have conceptualized it, and what literature talks about it. And please keep numbering your work. Here it is 1.13. Maybe this can be 1.131, I don't know, but keep numbering your work. You see, you cannot just write intellectual stimulation and you write one sentence. You cannot just write inspiration or motivation and you're writing a sentence. Please, this is degree, okay? You're not writing in HND. Even HND you cannot write like this. Then, when it comes to the theoretical background, I see that you tried to write the way I advised you to write. We are not yet there, but we can take this one and keep moving. For theoretical background, it's okay. The statement of the problem, I saw that you are trying to emulate on what I was talking about, but what has shocked me are your statistics. From these statistics, all the school heads that practiced transmotion we have public schools. Four out of 5 of those who practice transactional leadership were private schools, and 1/5. These statistics are not clear. Don't know what you're trying to mean here, but if it's more than you're going to allow it like that. But you could have generated clear statistics from reports, and once you have statistics, you cite where you are getting it. Okay, this is not the section for your findings, no, because you're trying to put how many were private, how many were government. No, it's not the section. You just have to keep putting there the statistics, the evidence that you are getting from reports and empirical studies. Objectives of the study. Okay, these objectives are okay. I don't see any problem with them. And your constructs are here. Let me see. You're talking about leadership styles. You're talking about teachers' involvement in decision making. You're talking about hey, I don't see the constructs. I only see styles of leadership. That's 1. Teachers' involvement. That is 2. Leadership styles. Then you're repeating it. You need to have specific constructs that you are conceptualizing from what? From the independent variable. So let me see. You have teachers' involvement in decision making, leadership styles. I don't know why you are repeating leadership styles here. Is it because you are doing a relationship? It's okay. Then hypothesis. You don't seem to have an hypothesis. You could put hypothesis in a table, but you don't seem to have it. What can happen is that when you are here, you insert a table 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and then you come here and say objectives, stated hypothesis. Maybe you come and put here the source. Here you say objective 1, then you state the hypothesis. You show the source of where you got you show the source of some of the other scholars that could have used the same hypothesis, and where you are justifying it from literature. So you can show here so that you state here the hypothesis. I'm just giving you an example. There is no relationship between leadership styles and the academic performance. Okay, so that you're trying to write, then you write objective 2, then you write here objective 2, and you keep stating your hypothesis like that. So significance of the study, I think that's fine. Justification of the study, I think that's fine. Then we have the scope. You have to state the scope before you break it down. I have not seen. Okay, this is, I think, what you call content scope. You are calling it thematic scope, and it's not showing the content of your own study and the justifications. So that is as far as chapter 1 is concerned. When we get to chapter 2, of course it has to be on the starting page. The same applies here. We said I already explained this, and number your work according to the format. Let's talk about this. We said you remove the chapter has been divided into 4 sections. You don't list the sections. You don't list the sections. You just write it into the following sections. So you don't list them. You just keep putting a comma, comma. Okay, it's like that. Okay, so the theoretical review, path, goal, and leadership theory. I see that the theories you have in chapter 1 are not the same theories you have here. I don't know why. So, but anyhow, let's not waste so much time there. You did a review, it's okay. The conceptual review is the same as what you did as the conceptual background. So whatever I said in the conceptual background applies there. Make sure you bring out the key aspects you are using in your study. Empirical review. Okay, empirical review I think is also okay. Then review by objectives. Okay, this one you also did it. It's okay. I'm only worried about your citations. Sometimes there are no citations at all, and if they are there, they are just copied from somewhere. You need to make them visible, and then every citation, every in-text citation, every citation I see here in this text, for example, this one, must also be reflected in the reference list. Okay, so let me see. Okay, that's it. Okay, I think chapter 2, those are the corrections you need to make. Then let me go to chapter 3. Chapter 3, we said you use just few sentences to. The purpose of this study is to evaluate. No. You are introducing the chapter. It is called chapter 3. Then down here you put methodology, and you get to left alignment. You say introduction, which is 3.0. 3.0, and then you introduce this chapter. Okay, I have taught you how to introduce the chapter. If you don't know, go and see how chapters in other write-ups and theses are introduced. So the whole of this one does not make sense to me, so you can remove it. Okay, you can remove it. Now when you're writing about the research design, I think it's the first time I'm seeing this chapter. When you're writing about the research design, you don't write a full textbook. Okay, you're writing so much. I'm looking for where the research design is. Unfortunately, you did not. The information for this study was gathered using mixed methods. Is not a research design. Mixed research design, no. This is a research methodology. So you must differentiate between research methodology, research strategy, research approach, and research design. So please clearly state your research design. You have not stated it clearly. State. Let me put a comment for you. You have not stated clearly your research design. Okay, check out with other finished works to see which designs were used. Okay, to see which designs were used, because I don't see any. You're writing so much here. Let me see. It's a comprehensive plan for collecting data, blah blah blah. You could have cited here. You cite here. You did not do that. And then the information of the study highlighted. This is not making sense. Obtain the depth interview. This is not making sense. That means you don't know the meaning of research design. I request that you go and read it, and then you clearly state your research design. After you have written this sentence and you cite it, then you say this particular study adopted maybe adopted a survey research design, or good design, or it can be another one. It may not be necessarily it may not be necessarily a survey. It can be a causal research design. Maybe you adopted a causal research design. There is descriptive. Go and read more. Descriptive research design. Descriptive research design. Go and read more about. Go and read more. Okay. So only that is what is needed. You don't have to write all this because it's not making sense, and it is not needed. So I was trying to show you what you can write to make sense and what you are writing. Go and read more about research designs so that you understand exactly what we are trying to say. The whole of this one is not making sense. So this is not making sense. Please do remove it. Okay, let me see whether you know your population of your study. This refers to the people units with the wishes to study. So who is saying this? Cite your work. Make sure you cite your work. Okay, cite your work. Make sure your work is well referenced. Okay, cite your work, please. The mother population, of course, you know we don't start. What is even a mother population? Where you're starting a paragraph with a small t. Oh God, this is serious. So population in this study attends, don't know what you're trying to mean here, to attends the Yaoundé 3. Oh God, check the grammar. Okay, read more about population, target population, sampling frame, and then the sample size. Okay, because you don't seem to understand it. There you will be able to specify your population, you specify your target population, then you specify your sampling frame, and then you can be able to specify your sampling size. Check grammar and spelling. Okay, check grammar and the spellings, and always cite your work. For example, all of this you're writing is not cited. It's not cited and it's not making sense. Target population, you say 30 out of the 30 schools, 20 were targeted, from which data was corrected. So you corrected data from 20 schools. Is that what you're trying to say? The schools are co-education and present various communities coming from different social culture. The teachers of these schools are of fairly bilingual background. Then accessible population. Keep the accessible population of this study was 20 senior teachers. You took 20 schools and you're doing 20 20 teachers. Do you want to say you are getting one teacher from each school? Okay, you're taking 20 school heads, making 40. One teacher and one, maybe it's okay. But you must justify 40. Justify this 40. This should be your sample size, but justify it. Justify it. Why 40? Why not 20? Why not 60? Justify. So you seem to confuse the following words. Go and read about them and restructure this again. You seem to confuse sampling frame, sampling size, target population, accessible population, and population. Give each of them a paragraph and try to show exactly what you want to mean. When I get to validity, below is explained how the content. Check grammar. Oh God. Validation is a blah 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 blah. You have to cite. Okay, you have to cite where you are getting this, and then how did you measure validity? We want just make. I think the supervisor again took ample time to cross-check the questionnaire, making it. I think this is what makes sense. A detailed examination of the such question was done by the supervisor. Okay. Then reliability. How did you test reliability? This is validity. Now I think reliability is here. Name it clearly. Name this one, call it reliability. Reliability. How did you measure it? Let me see. Which measuring blah blah of this and this from this and this looks at reliability as this and that, reliability analysis this and that and that, took this and that cross section of some teachers, showing reliability of the questionnaire over and over, test and retest. This is not a convincing way. Oh God. Can you read more about can you read more about testing for reliability using alpha and Cronbach. Then if you understand it, show how you used it to measure the reliability of the instrument. You try to do that. Let's see how it goes. Okay, you say method of data. Data will be analyzed. Data will be or was. It's a report. This is a report. So you need to use descriptive statistics, involve use of graphs, tables and all that. Then the financial statistics was analyzed using correlation. Are you sure it is correlation? You can't use all this. You're going to use one. You can't use correlation, chi-square, and regression. You're going to take one. If it is a prediction, there are many predictors. Maybe you want one, maybe one variable is predicting the other. Then you're going to use that will be regression. If there's a relationship, I have seen one question in your questionnaires, in your questions, in your research questions, there's a question where you're examining relationship between is it leadership styles and the academic performance. That one you can use correlation. So you could use, yes, regression, you use correlation, and then maybe chi-square, but chi-square, no, you can use regression, you can use correlation. The two are okay if you know how to use them anyhow. You're using SPSS. If you don't know, you'll get help. Okay, I think this method of data analysis is okay. This is method of data analysis techniques. Method of data analysis and the data analysis procedure and techniques. So you can say data analysis techniques, oh God, and procedure. Okay. The procedure is here. Please, you're going to number these whatever these sections so that we know. Like in other sections you numbered, in other chapters you are numbering. Here, this chapter you have not numbered anywhere. So the procedure. This chapter is not well structured. The chapter lacks many things. I have not seen aspects to do with I have not seen the research strategy. I've not seen ethical considerations. So maybe when it's not written in your own format, but you need to write about research strategy. You also need to write about research approach. Then you write about ethical considerations. I did not see this in your work. The ethical considerations. You did not put this in your work, so you're going to look at this, make sure they are in your work. Okay, thank you so much. I think that's how far I can go with your work. There is still so much. You're just struggling to hand in, and your incense is to see that you're progressing, but your work lacks that kind of touch that is for academic writing, the styles, the formats, the language, and the citations, the referencing. You don't have a reference list here. I could have seen a reference list at the end of your work. If indeed you were managing your in-text citations, I could have seen a reference list, but unfortunately it is not there. So this is your work, and I'm going to send you this video. I think the video will be very much helpful to understand what I require from you. I repeat, don't write from the abstract. I mean, don't write from the blue. Make sure you are following exactly the writing of other senior advanced writers. Look at what they have written and structure your own in that format, so you are having a clearly written thesis to the level of a degree. Otherwise, you're progressing. Do those corrections, and as you do the corrections, keep writing the research instrument so that we see how we are going to manage your data. Okay? I'm thinking you will not be able to correct data because you're behind schedule already. But it's okay. You will. I'll send you when I see the instrument. We'll talk about it. I think next time you're going to do a sending of your work, you are likely to send me your questionnaire or your instrument. Let me look at it, and then we can go and pick our data, manage it, analyze it, and then we write chapter 4 and write chapter 5. But this has to be corrected. Anything that I'm saying here must be corrected. Thank you so much, and bye-bye. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.